their marriage was going to be Thursday, the divorce was going to be Tuesday, and he's mysteriously murdered on Sunday after private investigators and restraining orders and court battles and all these things right there.
Back to our top story. A random killing in the early 90s turned strangers into enemies. But as time went on, that pair interestingly became friends, and today they stand as a lesson that time heals all. Now, on this day 30 years ago, a murder mystery shocked the valley and made national headlines. WHSV's Kayla Brooks has the story.
June 7th, 1992. 35-year-old Sammy Wheeler of Stanton was murdered. He was shot 6 times inside his car parked in George Washington National Forest.
He was so good to me. I mean, he was the white sheep of the family. We were identical twins, but he graduated Virginia Tech, and he bought Mom a house in Florida and a house back here.
Sammy was planning a wedding with his fiancée, Pat. Pat's ex-husband, Bob Bean, became a person of interest in the case.
I was in the middle of the woods with my National Guard unit during my 2-week summer camp.
Investigators decided Bob Bean's alibi was airtight, but that wasn't enough to convince Danny Wheeler.
I just wouldn't buy that. I was sure it was Bob or one of his family members.
As investigators talked with Bean, Danny, and Sammy's fiancée, they ran out of leads. The television show Unsolved Mysteries picked up the story, and that led to what Bean called divine intervention.
When the episode came on featuring Danny and I in the murder, he said, well, hell, I know who did that. So my friend perked up immediately and said, well, who did it? And Kurt told him it was Guy and I.
Information presented to police, a witness saying Guy Jackson Price was the man responsible for Sammy's murder, seemingly a random killing.
When it all came down, a week later, they arrested him.
All that was left to do was reflect on the last several years.
So many people have helped me out, and I don't know if they'll ever know how grateful I am and how rich my life has been since then. Time does heal, and my life has been so good.
And it didn't take long for Bean and Wheeler to strike up a friendship.
I never really held it against Danny. As a matter of fact, I tried to help him.
The two living reminders of the power of friendship and forgiveness.
And he was forgiving. Thank God he was, and I'm so grateful for that. And he's been good as gold to me for the 23 years since then.
In Augusta County, Kayla Brooks, WHSV.
Guy Jackson Price was convicted in the murder of Sammy Wheeler and sentenced to life in prison in 1999. Virginia state records show Price was released on parole in 2020.